Why do I care if my Transformers can kneel? Because I need a life, clearly. But apart from that, there's this. This is what we had to put up with in the 80s. Sure, he can turn from a car to a robot. Pretty cool for the time. But can he kneel? Can he bollocks? This is the closest an 80s Autobot can get to kneeling, from Autobot to Dwarf in under 60 seconds.
I cannot jump the distance, you'll have to trust me.
So when I got into modern G1 collecting, I was looking for all those things my original Transformers couldn't do, like kneeling. Whether you're Megatron blowing a chunk out of Optimus Prime, or Optimus Prime introducing himself to a bunch of clueless humans.
We're Autobots.
That's awesome.
Transformers find themselves kneeling all the time, therefore so should their plastic counterparts, which brings us to this amazing video, all about which modern G1 Transformers are the best at kneeling. If you're in any doubt about continuing to watch, just think to yourself, I've made it this far, I might as well watch the rest. Number 10, Perceptor. One of the things I've learned looking for the best kneeler is that sometimes the transformation itself is key. In this case, Perceptor, he has these articulation points in the middle of his thigh. Not a place you'd put a joint under normal circumstances. What this means is you have additional choices for the kneel, and choices apparently always good, people say that. His legs can bow out a bit, tuck in a bit more. These are nice options in our quest for the perfect bended knee. Number 9, Wheelie. Another thing I've learned is that size really doesn't matter when it comes to a satisfying kneel. Wheelie's legs line up perfectly. He has enough range of motion in the hips, both forward and backwards, to vary the stance once he's down there, with an additional horizontal knee bend, so he can tuck his leg under his butt. Very nice. Very dexterous kneeler for a pint-sized Autobot Wheelie. Number 8, Jazz Bluestreak. I'm not cheating here, Jazz is my choice, but I put Bluestreak with him to illustrate the same point, that being gaps. I'm not a big fan of these gaps, hollow parts of the model being visible, but that's a secondary concern when it comes to an effective kneel. Is the position cool overall? That's what matters, and I think Jazz really looks great when kneeling. Yes, you can see his insides, but that only makes me identify with him more. Aren't we all hollow on the inside, really? And that's what collecting these toys is all about, really, trying to fill that hole. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. Number 7, Hot Rod. This guy continues to surprise me since I've dinged him several times on this channel for his lackluster arm articulation. His legs, on the other hand, facilitate a particularly natural looking kneel, mainly due to his rotating knees that allow for a great range of motion. One leg can also splay out to the side slightly, further enhancing the naturalistic pose. Much better than expected, and I have to say well done to this hot-headed nutcase. Number 6, various cassettes. They're pretty cartoon accurate. They're as tiny as they should be, but can they kneel? Heck yes, they can kneel. Eject in particular, his legs line up like they were designed for kneeling. For an OCD-riddled nightmare person like me, this is bliss. Frenzy and Rumble can't bend their arms, a major design flaw, but they can heck as heck bend their knees. I'm sorry about all the swearing, by the way, but I'm just hecking excited. Number 5, Bombshell. These Insecticons share pretty much the same design, so I picked Bombshell arbitrarily, although I do have this memory that he was the hardest to find when I was a kid, so he always seems special to me, so yeah, it's probably my favourite now. Anyway, I could have picked any of them. I've put Kickback here just to belabor the point. I love the G1 Insecticons. They make absolutely no sense. They appear with no explanation in the cartoon, which makes me like them even more. They're just hanging about in a Burmese jungle, terrorizing the natives.
Bombshell Kickback.
But it was very important to me that these modern versions of them could kneel, and they can do it really well. Number 4, Gears and Gnaw. Another cop-out. Not really. My choice is Gears, but it really was close with this one. I had to give a special mention to Gnaw. This mold is great, and when it comes to the legs, for such a small, compact figure, there's tons of versatility there, range of motion. In the end, though, Gears just pips him to the post because of how naturalistic he looks when he's kneeling. This Gears was simply born to kneel. Enough said. Number 3, Huffer. I didn't expect much from this War for Cybertron figure, but with no Huffer in sight for Studio Series, probably not in the Legacy for a while, I picked this one up in a sale. It's a lot more versatile than I expected. I'm not sure how to put this, but even kneeling, he looks like he means business. He's kind of poised, it's like almost crouched. I don't know, it looks like an action kneel to me. It looks like he's infiltrating a Decepticon outpost and he's stopped just momentarily to catch his breath. And as we all know, the only thing better than a naturalistic kneel is an action kneel. and Huffer has it. Number 2, Blaster. Maybe a bit of a mundane choice. Blaster's kneel isn't really anything special. He doesn't look as dynamic as Huffer or as natural as Hot Rod, and you can't do as much with him as you can with Perceptor, but the posture is just so perfect. It's like he went to kneeling finishing school and graduated top of the class. Back straight, legs at perfect right angles, bit of a show off, in that he's doing it so perfectly, but that kind of fits with Blaster's personality. Number 1, my number 1 pick for kneelers. Before I get to that, please, I'm sorry to do this to you. I know YouTubers do this all the time, but unless you ask, people don't do it. Please sub up to the channel. Like, just, it helps me out so much. It makes me feel like I'm getting somewhere. They're flipping, making videos and talking nonsense. So please do sub up if you like the video, and even if you don't like the video, sub up anyway, and then just, you know, I got an extra sub. He's the anyway, number 1, Slug or Slag. People love it when you call Slug Slag. He's the only Dinobot that can actually pull off an effective kneel, Slug. Quite apart from this, I just love the look of it. Generally, the kneel, he's hunched down in a way you don't usually see leader class figures being able to do this. It looks odd with big figures, but he looks just really cool and natural. This is mostly achieved due to this extra fold you can do at the knee. You like really click it in there, and his leg can go right up, so he's almost like sitting on his ankle. So he's really low down in the kneel. Because of this, I put him at the front of my Dinobots, showing off that versatility. I'm pretty sure Grimlock is going to get angry at some point and kick his head in, but damn it, this guy can kneel, and I'm gonna show it when he can, and this guy can. But what do you think? Who is the best kneeler in your collection? Do people who ask questions like this really need to think about therapy? I think, well, yes. I think the answer to that is yes. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I've been Nap Yet, and I'll see you next time.